Okay, it's preparing. We are live.
I still don't see it on the channel, but let me see. I still don't.
So it's live. I can see the stream. I've posted the link to the stream in the chat box.
But how does it work? Because when I am here, I have a screen with the channel and nothing appears about that on the channel, you know. Because we gave the link to the channel to the people who want to watch the ceremony. So if they open the channel and they don't see anything,
it is live in the channel. I can see the upload playing.
Well, what's the address of the channel? Is it posted?
Yeah, it's this one.
So is it working or?
Yep.
But how the people can see it? Because when I'm on the channel right now, I mean the home of the channel. Let me charge it again. And when I'm going on the home of the channel, the first on the left, there is only the video of the ambassador of Brazil.
For me, it shows also Welcome Celebration World Logic Day live.
I can see it.
There is
too.
another. Okay.
Can you see it?
I can see it too. Yes.
I can see it. I don't know why I cannot see, but anyway. So, yeah, I saw it now. I see it now. Okay, everything is working. So let's start. So first of all, thank you for everybody to be here today. I'm very glad that people accept this invitation to take part to this welcome celebration. I think it was important to organize this welcome celebration so that we can have a general perspective of this World Logic Day. And so happy World Logic Day to everybody. I will say a few words about this World Logic Day, very short time. So why World Logic Day? Well, I have been studying logic since many years. Both in mathematical science, philosophical science, also in semiotic, computation, and so on. And so I think logic is very important. And as I was emphasizing in my writings for the World Logic Day, I think if we consider the qualification of human beings as logical animal, rational animal in Latin, but logical animals in Greek, we can say that the World Logic Day is a celebration of humanity because logic is what is characterize human beings by difference to other animals. Now, what is the origin of the World Logic Day to organize this celebration? Well, many years ago, I took part to the World Philosophy Day, World Day of Philosophy at UNESCO in Paris. And it was a really nice event. It was in 2004, a very big event. It was very nice, so many people and so on. So I had a very good impression for organizing such kind of celebration. Then, so it was the World Day of Philosophy. Then later on, at some point, maybe 10 years ago, I just realized that January 14 was at the same time the day of birth of Tarski and the day of death of Gödel. So I think, well, this should be the day for the World Logic Day, because they are the two most important logicians in the 20th century. Well, I didn't organize this World Logic Day already at this time, because I think it was necessary to have a good preparation to launch this World Logic Day. And I have been working in many different kind of projects to promote logic in the world, organizing a big event, international world event about logic, in particular the Universal Logic Congress that many people here already took part. Then I start to organize some logic prize in different countries. I am working also on an encyclopedia of logic together with the Internet Encyclopedia of Philosophy. So it's a different way to promote logic. And then at some point, I think, well, that's the right time to start this World Logic Day. So this was at the end of 2018. And I start to organize the first commemoration, first celebration of this World Logic Day for the 14th of January of 2019. So I was in touch with many logicians around the world because of all this work I've been doing during many years, and I asked them to organize celebration, and we succeed to organize 60 celebrations all over the world. So thank you to everybody to have done this work to start in a good way this World Logic Day. Just after that, I visited the Brazilian ambassador at UNESCO in Paris. We are very happy that she's here today to propose to enter this day in the calendar of UNESCO. And she will talk about that. Then it was approved in a very short way. Maybe this is the shortest in the history of the day of UNESCO. Probably the quickest way that the day was approved in October, November 2019. For the second edition, we organized again a celebration in the name of the Logica Universalis Association. And then this year, the day is managed by the Collège International de Philosophie et Sciences Humaines, and Benedikt Löwe, with the coordinator, is here and will say a few words about that. So now I will give the I will let the Brazilian ambassador say a word, and we will follow the order. So after her, it will be Benedikt Löwe. And then Jan Wolenski will speak about Tarski, Daniele Mundici about Gödel, and then all of the participants will say a few words in the order which is on the webpage. Thank you again to everybody, and let's go on.
Well, I think I have the floor, Professor.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, thank you. Thank you initially very much for your very kind invitation to participate of this third edition of the World Logic Day. You remember that as Ambassador of Brazil to UNESCO in 2019, I embraced with great enthusiasm your idea of incorporating the World Logic Day into UNESCO's agenda, and worked very hard so that we could carry out this idea as fast as possible. And you have already explained the dates and a little bit about the process of incorporation of this day in UNESCO. I'm really very happy that we could work in association. I mean, Brazilian delegation to UNESCO, together with the Brazilian Academy of Philosophy, a work that resulted in the proclamation on November 26 during UNESCO General Conference, proclamation of the 14th of January as UNESCO's World Logic Day. As you all know, is the only organization of the United Nations system with exclusive mandate to promote education, sciences, natural science and social sciences, culture, communication, and information. Therefore, I think it's only natural, logical to stay in our topic of today and appropriate that UNESCO proclaimed this initiative proposed by Brazil by consensus. That means with the agreement of 193 countries, which are the members of UNESCO. And that is significant because with this approval by consensus, by unanimity, means that the World Logic Day is today universally recognized. I would like, as a diplomat, and also as a citizen in general, to observe that we are living in very challenging moments, a moment when sciences are denied, and this denial that happens in many parts of the world is coupled with the proliferation of fake news which are replicated at exponential speed. Especially in a moment such as this one, I believe that the proclamation by UNESCO of the World Logic Day will contribute to strengthen, to foster rational and critical thinking to the benefit of the development of human knowledge. And I also believe that this strengthening of critical thinking and development of human knowledge will promote, then it's the diplomat speaking, a better understanding and dialogue, not only within societies, but also among countries. So I have little more to add. What I would like is to say that I feel extremely pleased to take part of this important moment of celebration. And I would like to congratulate you all. And I am very pleased to see that we have participating of this event, outstanding professionals dedicated to the promotion of logic in different countries and from different continents. So to you all, I extend my warmest congratulations, very sincere congratulations for your significant contribution to the improvement of universal logic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, let's hear Benedikt Löwe from Collège National de Philosophie et Sciences Humaines.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, dear friends and colleagues, and everyone on YouTube who sees this in the live stream. Let me say a few things as the coordinator of World Logic Day from CIPSH. Of course, as the coordinator, I'm experiencing a rather busy day. I have already been to England, Brazil, and India, and after this, there are 2 more countries on the list. I don't want to dwell on this for too long, but I would like to comment that just a year ago, this would have been unimaginable. We would have done this in a very, very different way. And that's not because we didn't have the technology. The technology was there. It's just that we didn't use it the way we do it now. As I said, I'm not going to comment any further on this, just food for thought. I should like to start by thanking Her Excellency for her crucial role in the UNESCO Declaration of World Logic Day. If it wasn't for the Brazilian delegation, we would not be here today. And I don't want to repeat all of the history that was already I would like to add a few things from my point of view. There's one additional interesting thing about World Logic Day in institutional in an institutional way. Namely, it is the only commemorative day of UNESCO that is coordinated with another institution. So when it was pronounced, it was delegated to CIPSH, the Conseil International de Philosophie et des Sciences Humaines, or the International Council for Philosophy and Human Sciences, and its member organizations, that they should organize this. Among these member organizations, the most relevant, of course, is the Division for Logic, Methodology and Philosophy of Science and Technology, DLMPST, known to many of the people here. And it was in my role as Secretary General of that division that I was approached by UNESCO in the summer of 2019, after the Brazilian proposal had come in, to see what do we do with all this. And I had a discussion with John Crowley and Luis Oosterbeek, and we pushed for this unique solution where CIPSH and UNESCO together organize World Logic Day. I was then greatly honored to be appointed by the General Assembly of CIPSH to be the coordinator of these activities. Now, of course, these activities in this year were very, very unusual. It was quite clear that this day would be very different from anything that people had imagined originally. All events would be online with all of the advantages and disadvantages. And as hinted at before, I think that for the global reach and the inclusivity of events, the online format is actually mostly an advantage. Again, I'm not going to dwell on this too much. Now, a little bit more about content. Logic as a discipline lives at the nexus between these two famous cultures, the sciences and the humanities. And it is this dual nature of logic that we aim to celebrate with World Logic Day. On the one hand, logic is the foundations of modern computer science. It is the underlying method of mathematics. But of course, it also has centuries, if not millennia, of history in the humanities. And it is a tool for describing phenomena in culture and society. In honor of World Logic Day, my own research institute, the ILLC in Amsterdam, has published a blog post entitled "The Madness of the Crowds," where they talk about, various researchers talk about various logical methods to study irrational behavior. So for example, things like, what is the reasoning mechanism behind hoarding toilet paper before a lockdown? Is false information more resilient in social media than correct information? This relates to fake news. How do we make rational decisions in a situation where we have diverging expert opinion? All of these questions are hugely timely. And if you look at the social media reaction to World Logic Day today, if you just search through Twitter and Facebook and see what people are saying, I sense that among non-logicians, there is an incredible desire for more analysis of questions like this, because they feel that the world is going off the track of rationality and analytic thought, and someone needs to do something about this. So if the World Logic Day contributes to the knowledge that there are researchers looking at these questions, and to the realization that this is important to be included in educational agendas, then I think World Logic Day has served one of its most important purposes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Benedikt. And we can say that the third edition of the World Logic Day is already a success. So we are very glad about that. Now, let's talk about the two main figures of this World Logic Day, the reason why we decided to create this, to choose the January 14 as a day of the World Logic Day. So first of all, we'll hear Jan Wolenski. He will speak about Alfred Tarski.
Okay, thank you for inviting me. And I would like to quote a fragment of preface of Tarski to his famous textbook, Introduction to Logic and to the Methodology of Didactic Sciences, published in English in 1946. And he wrote, "I have no illusions that the development of logical thought will have a very essential effect upon the process of the normalization of human relationships, but I believe that the wider diffusion of the knowledge of logic may contribute positively to the acceleration of this process." It is interesting that this something like that was not present in Tarski's introduction to Polish original edition, which appeared in 1935. By the way, it was a textbook for secondary schools for students who wanted to specialize in mathematics. And I guess that in 1935, at least in Polish School of Logic, nobody doubted that logic not may contribute, but contributes positively to acceleration and so on. So in 1946, Tarski was probably conscious. He was, of course, his words alluded first part to the experience of war, which finished 1 year ago. So he was less optimistic about human rationality and so on. So I think that anyway, Tarski himself contributed very essentially to the diffusion of logical knowledge in US, because he created, in fact, the greatest American logical school organized by him in Berkeley, in California. And I remember that when we organized in Warsaw a conference commemorating Tarski's 100th anniversary of birth, Anil Nerod, one of leading American logicians, told that we couldn't believe that logic is so well developed in California. He was working at East Coast. So what about meaning of Tarski's words today? Words today, I think that we should remind his warning of his pessimistic, optimistic standpoint concerning the role of logic. So clearly we have an enormous progress in many areas of our life. On the other hand, 1,000 children die for hunger every day. Ecological crisis increases. Ideologies and religions cause conflict. So one can afraid that so-called globalization more divides people than unifies them. By the way, Tarski once said to Henry Hirsch and other Polish logicians that logic unifies people, religion divides them. Today we could say not only religion, but more generally political ideologies. This causes that people are motivated more frequently by irrational opinions than rational ones. And following Tarski, logic is not a sufficient remedy for the danger of irrationality, but it can contribute to the growth of rationality. So perhaps we should think on the occasion of International Day of Logic how to increase the role of logic in contemporary world. One of tasks is convincing educators for the teaching of logic should not be neglected. It is unfortunately neglected even in Poland, which has a great tradition in teaching of logic. You know that during communist time, when Marxist dominated intellectual life, Polish logicians were able to convince political authorities to introduce logic to secondary schools and to universities as an optional subject at universities. And 90% of Polish students choose logic as subject to be learned by me. Now why? Why logic is so important? I will use words of another great Polish logician, Jan Łukasiewicz, who said, logic is morality of speech and thought, and this morality should be executed. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Jan. And now we listen to Daniele Mundici, who was the former president of the Kurt Gödel Society, and he will speak about Gödel and also logic from. Please.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. How many friends
hello.
Here?
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Who's speaking?
I am Fahzi AlCareem from Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
I am listening to you. You see, Daniel.
Yes. May I speak?
Yeah, sure.
So
I can hear you. So.
Thank you very much. It's nice to hear you. Many friends and colleagues here today. It's a great day. A hug to everybody, even it's not dangerous. I've been asked to present Kurt Gödel in a few minutes to lock him down for you and for YouTube. So let's see how it goes. Zero is a number, the successor of any number is a number, distinct numbers have distinct successors, and so on and so on. These are the few axioms, the Dedekind Peano's axioms about the natural numbers. They are time-honored, and they are basic principles for the natural numbers. Is my image seen, or I am replaced by something else, somebody else?
You look fine. You look fine.
I look fine. Okay. These axioms, well, it's nice. You look fine too. These axioms serve the purpose of putting into words, distilling into words, distillation, 100 years of contemplation of the natural numbers. The contemplation marked this by different cultures and different traditions working in synergy. Generation after generation, deeper and deeper properties of the natural numbers have been proved solely from these axioms. And today we have two articles of faith, in a sense, something you could call dogmas or something to be believed, perhaps, and they are as follows. Dogma number 1. The axioms tell the whole truth. All true theorems about the natural numbers can be, in principle, proved from the time-honored axioms. After all, nobody during the last 25 centuries has dreamt or dared to introduce a new axiom beyond those of Dedekind Peano. Dogma number 2, the axioms tell nothing but the truth. The time-honored axioms do not lead to inconsistency. They will not lead us to darkness. They will never prove 0 equal 1. Should this have been done in the past 2,500 years, today we wouldn't have the word UNESCO Logic Day. Don't you think so? Well, but we have it. So we must trust in dogma number 2. The axioms tell nothing but the truth. Well, in 1931, Kurt Gödel stunned the world by showing that dogma number 1 is false. This is a mathematical theorem about the falseness of the dogma that the axioms tell all the truth, the whole truth, not true. He proved this. There do exist true statements about the natural numbers that cannot be proved by the time-honored Dedekind Peano axioms. This was a shock. It stunned the world. He also gave a spectacular example by writing down a concrete mathematical formula, like the infinity of the prime numbers, like the properties of the least common multiple, something perhaps a bit longer, with additions and multiplication, a formula G in arithmetic, stating that it's true, certainly true, and we will see why, but cannot be proved from the time-honored axioms. Would you like to see Gödel's formula? Well, I could have printed it, but it's a bit longer and it would not give the essence of it. The essence of Gödel's formula G is dogma 2. Remember dogma 2? The Dedekind Peano's axioms tell nothing but the truth. Okay, Gödel's incompleteness theorem was a groundbreaking result. It is his deepest and most beautiful result. The formula G containing dogma, article of faith number 2, is true, but it cannot be proved by the time-honored axiom that resisted so many centuries, but can't prove everything, can't prove all the truth. In a nutshell, the time-honored Dedekind Peano axioms are unable to guarantee their own consistency. This had a tremendous impact on mathematics, logic in particular, epistemology, and in other sciences. It was a great mathematical theorem of the past century. Now, we better understand why Einstein confided to a friend that his own work, relativity, no longer meant much, that he came to the Institute of Advanced Studies in Princeton merely to have the privilege of walking home with Kurt Gödel. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Daniele. So now we'll start the presentation of each speaker from all over the world. So everybody will speak a short time because there are so many people. I don't see Yuri Gurevich on the room. I don't know. I think he didn't arrive. So in this case, we'll start with the next on the list with Rohit Parikh. Please, Rohit.
Thank you very much. May I share screen?
Yeah, sure.
So I would say that, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say that the most urgent issue these days for logicians is to work out the logic of the beliefs, knowledge, and behavior of groups. Because we human beings don't live as individuals, but we live in society. We learn from others and we tell things to other people, and we work with other people in cooperative algorithms. Now, a great deal of work has already been done by game theorists, by philosophers, and by those computer scientists who are interested in distributed computing. But these insights need to be combined along with cooperation of psychologists. And the names that come to mind include Robert Aumann, Daniel Kahneman, Thomas Schelling, Christina Bicchieri, Johann von Bentham, and John Searle, and many, many others. I mean, that when I mention Searle, of course, I should mention other people who worked along with him, with von Bentham. Also, I should mention Benedikt Löwe, and so on and so forth. But I can't possibly mention all of these names. Now, I would say that I just want to mention three important things. One of them is the insight due to Aumann in a very path-breaking paper, Agreeing to Disagree, in which he showed that if two people have opinions about some issue and they have common knowledge of those opinions, then those opinions must be the same. So in particular, if I want to sell you a stock and you want to buy it, and we are both interested in money, then you know that I think the stock will go down, which is why I'm selling it. And I know that you think the stock will go up, and therefore you are buying it. So, and these two opinions are common knowledge, but they are different. And what Aumann showed is that different opinions with common knowledge is impossible. And I would say that Aumann perhaps was the most important influence of logic inside economics. The other thing I want to mention is the tragedy of the commons, which goes to Harding, but it was also anticipated in India by Birbal, which is that when a lot of people, each having a herd, are sharing a common, then each herdsman has the desire to add one more cow to his herd because he will get more milk. But if all the herdsmen have this desire, then there will be too many cows and the herd will get degraded. So the tragedy of the commons is, of course, behind the fact that we have all this pollution from CO2, because each country benefits by emitting more CO2, and at the same time, each country emitting CO2 makes the atmosphere bad, and we are very likely going to have climate change. So this kind of coordination is crucial. One more thing I want to mention is something about some sources being left out, because many of you have heard about the Gettier problem, namely that Plato said that justified true belief is knowledge, but it isn't, and Gettier showed that it isn't. In fact, Plato did not say it, because if you look at the dialogue in which Socrates talks about this issue, Socrates explicitly says that justified true belief is not knowledge. So it seems that a lot of people read the Theaetetus, read the beginning, and did not read what Socrates had said at the end. So Gettier did not disprove something that Plato had said because Plato did not say it. But an important thing is that this notion was discovered already in India in the 6th century by a philosopher called Prasastapada. And I will tell you Prasastapada's examples. Suppose that you see what looks like smoke on a mountain, and so you conclude that there is a fire on the mountain. And at the same time, there is a mountain, but what you saw as smoke is in fact fog. So you saw what you thought was smoke, you inferred fire, the smoke that you saw was in fact fog, but there is in fact a fire. Do you then know that there is a fire on the mountain? And Prasastapada in the 6th century AD said, no, you do not know. So I think that when we mention Gettier, we should also mention Prasastapada. So these are examples of how things get ignored in certain ways. And for that matter, the notion of common knowledge is believed to be due to David Lewis and Steve Schiffer. But in fact, that notion already occurs in the dissertation of Robert Nozick. And now it's interesting because Robert Nozick, of course, did not live in India in the 6th century. He was a professor at Harvard. So how is it that his contribution gets ignored? And it gets ignored simply because we are lazy, just as we are too lazy to read the Theaetetus all the way to the end. But I would say that if we want to escape fake knowledge, then we have to use our powers of reasoning, rely more on fact, rely less on the opinions of other people, and hopefully we can arrive at some kind of a consensus on how the world should be. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Rohit. Next speaker is István Németi and his wife from Budapest. Please.
Welcome, everybody, on the Project Day. That's it.
Yes. Thank you.
Well, welcome, everybody.
On the occasion of the third World Logic Day. We just wanted to say that much.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice.
thank you very much. So next speaker is Luca Scarantino, the president of the International Federation of Philosophical Society. Please, Luca.
Thank you, Jean-Yves. Thank you, dear colleagues, Madam Ambassador. I'm here as president of FISP, strangely enough, to essentially congratulate you for this third edition of the World Day of Logic and for the successful approval by UNESCO of this Day of Philosophy. I am myself not a logician, so I'm kind of an outsider here, which is very consistent with my entire life. But I'd like to say that not only FISP is endorsing the World Day of Philosophy, but I think that it's very consistent to have a World Day of Philosophy after the launch of the World Day of Logic, sorry, after the launch of the World Day of Philosophy that Jean-Yves recalled, and that dates back to the beginning of this century. Logic goes way beyond philosophy. Jean-Yves made it very clear. It involves mathematics, cybernetics, and other disciplines, but there is a philosophical part of logic, of course. Can also claim that there is a philosophical origin of logic to some extent. And I think it's important to have all of our disciplines and all of our departments cooperate in celebrating these kind of anniversaries. Day of Logic, Day of Philosophy, they are very good news for our community as scholars and scholars in humanities and scholars in mathematics and in related disciplines. So my job here is essentially to make a point about the fact that the International Federation of Philosophical Societies is fully supporting and endorsing the World Logic Day. My predecessor, Professor McBride, I think has already issued a statement in connection with CIPSH, so everything is very good. And I think that my last contribution would say to essentially to congratulate the ambassador of Brazil, the former ambassador of Brazil to UNESCO, Ambassador Fontenele Reis, for her commitment into turning this initiative into an official UNESCO resolution, and to congratulate Jean-Yves Beziau for having taken the initiative of launching this idea, launching this project in the wake of what FISP has done in advance, and in a way that also makes more sense for FISP initiative and from FISP work, because one thing is to have a World Day of Philosophy, one thing is to have the World Day of Philosophy and other affiliations that are likely to become as prominent and as important and internationally celebrated as the World Day of Philosophy, and hopefully other ones that may follow in the future. So one good thing I know about logicians is that you don't like too many words, and I'm happy to stop here and to congratulate you all once again on behalf of FISP. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Luca. It was very nice to see you here. And next, we'll have Philip Welsh, who is representing the logician from United Kingdom. Please.
Oh, hello. Welcome, everybody. And thank you very much for the invitation. Am I inaudible?
Yeah, sure. It's fine.
Sorry, I heard something. So thank you very much for the invitation. And it's a great pleasure to be here and to talk to you representing the British Logic Society, known as the British Logic Colloquium. I also am conscious there are rather a lot of speakers, and I don't have very many words, and I'm not going to encapsulate some area of logic, I'm afraid. I just want to both thank and congratulate those people who have put forward and got through this World Logic Day. So the ambassador from Brazil to UNESCO, and Jean-Yves, and all those others who've worked hard for it. I think it's perhaps just an irony, I would say, that that in the world today we have the greatest engine for kind of irrational thought and fundamentalisms of all various kinds is actually the successor of the Turing machine. Right? It seems that the logic that we've had for millennia has contributed completely to this design, down to the very basic levels of all the machinery or hardware that we use, but also the logical structure of programming. And it's just somehow unfortunate that at the moment in the world, we have so much kind of disinformation and irrationality, which is kind of propagated so well by these machines here. What we really need, of course, is kind of clear thinking about logic and its applications, of which, of course, Alan Turing was the exemplar. I think that's all I would like to say here, but I really want to give my heartfelt thanks and congratulations to the organizers of this Logic Day again. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Philippe. Next speaker is Liron Cohen from Israel, representing the Israeli logician. Please, Liron.
Hi, hello everyone. Very happy to be here on behalf of Israeli logicians. We have quite a few here. And yes, I don't want to say too much. There are a lot of people after me, but I do want to say that for me, my kind of favorite aspect, very personally, my favorite aspect of logic is that it kind of brings together many components, many disciplines, right? So we have computer science and math and philosophy, not even to mention kind of collaborations, because as we all know, logic is kind of at the foundations of everything, basically. We can talk about medicine, and we can talk about humanities, and logic is relevant to everything. So I think, especially in these times, it's nice to be a part of something that we all share together, that's common to many people, that we can discuss ideas from different perspectives. I think that's kind of my favorite part that's especially relevant nowadays. And yes, so I want to say a happy Logic Day to everyone, and thanks for the organizers and everyone involved in these, I don't know, all these events. I keep getting more and more messages about so many events around the world. And actually now with the virtual meeting, you can attend more than one. So it's very nice too.
Thanks very much. Next speaker is Mykola Nikitchenko from Ukraine. Please, Nico.
Yes, thank you very much for inviting me to this meeting. The idea of World Logic Day is a beautiful idea of Jean-Yves. On this day, we see that logic indeed becomes a world activity. In connection with this, we should call to mind the name of the great German philosopher George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. It is just time to be thinking about him, because several months ago we celebrated his jubilee, 250th anniversary of his birth, and because he was a great logician. And even more, he was a pan-logician. He thought that logic must govern the world. Unfortunately, we are far from this claim. We see that feelings, emotions, and opinions often prevail over logic. The aim of the World Logic Day is to demonstrate that logic is extremely important to society. This is a beautiful form to attract both young people and experienced scientists to discuss further steps in promoting logic in education, science, and politics. Here in Ukraine, we celebrate the World Logic Day together with the colleagues from Moldova and Romania. This is quite natural cooperation because our countries are situated on the side of Cucuteni, Tripilia pre-ancient culture. It is said to be the oldest our program, computer science and artificial intelligence, which are based on logic. Thus, we organized International Conference on Mathematical Foundations on Informatics, Symposium on Logic, Ukrainian Logic Society Prize, invited lectures. So at last, I wish every success in your endeavors. Many happy returns of the World Logic Day. Thank you for listening.
Thanks very much, Nicolas. Now the next speaker is, sorry. The next speaker now is Luis Philippe from Lima, Peru. Please, Luis Philippe.
Hello, thanks for the invitation. Can I be heard?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, Jean-Yves invited me because I am organizing some stuff related to logic here in Peru. In fact, to a great extent, this is thanks to Jean-Yves because the first time I went to Brazil was in 2019 in December. Well, I had a little group of people who kind of supported a workshop that I did in there, but we didn't think too much into making that group into a society for logic until Jean-Yves suggested the idea to me. So we formed the Peruvian Society for Epistemology and Logic, and we are currently organizing a World Logic Day event as we speak. Suppose that I am present in there, so I guess I am in two places at the same time. And well, we are, one of our concerns is to also try to disseminate part of the works on logic and epistemology that have been produced here in Latin America, because many important works of logic that have been written here have never reached the mainstream academia because they haven't been translated, basically. So we are trying to do some of that. We are promoting the translation, for example, of some Miro Quesada's works, and the logician that is often cited as coining the term paraconsistent logic. And we will also promote the translation of the never translated essay of Newton da Costa, Essay on the Foundations of Logic. Well, we have several other projects. You can come to our webpage if you're interested. You can contact me. So thanks for the invitation, and thanks, Jean-Yves, to a great part being propelling our society.
Thanks, Luis Philippe. And now we have José Fernandez from Spain. José Fernandez.
Hello, thank you for inviting us to be in this act. I'm representing the president of the Spanish Society for Logic, Methodology and Philosophy of Science, Cristina Corredor, who could not be participating here today. We would like to add our thanks to all that have been expressed before, especially to the promoters of the World Logic Day. It's been a great idea. As many societies in logic, we organize conferences. And I think that what is, for me, the most significant part of having a World Logic Day is that, well, we already have conferences all around, but this could be, and it's already starting to be a very significant impact, having a very significant impact on the general public. So it's a way of making activities that could reach beyond the academic world, so that we can start to show how important it is, the practice of good argumentation for general discussion. So thank you very much for organizing this, and well, I hope that we will keep in contact and make this growing every year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think you made a good point that we want Logic to be known outside of the academic world. Next, Valentin Gorenko with representing logicians from Scandinavia.
Thank you, Jean-Yves. Dear fellow logicians and logic aficionados from all over the world, this is just a short greeting. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's just a short greeting from the Scandinavian Logic Society, of which I'm the current president of the executive board. And I'm not going to give another speech in praise of logic, but just to use the opportunity to say a few words about our society. Let me first say that even though it's called Scandinavian, but it geographically covers the whole Nordic region, not just the peninsula. And this is mostly symbolic because the society is open for membership to everyone who is anyhow affiliated with logic and shares its objectives. And even though our society is still quite young, it was only established in 2012, but logic in Scandinavia has had a long and rich tradition going back over a century, perhaps starting with the work of the Norwegian mathematician logician Thorolf Skolem, whose name you surely know is related to several very important results in logic, like Löwenheim-Skolem theorem and the Skolemization technique and so on. And so since then, since the early 20th century, logic in Scandinavia has been developing quite actively in all three major incarnations of logic, namely mathematics, philosophy, and computer science. And I can mention names of a number of world-class logicians, including Georg Heinrich von Wright and Jaakko Hintikka on the philosophy side, and Per Lindström and Jens Erik Fenstad, to whom I would like to use the opportunity and pay tribute. He unfortunately fell victim to COVID-19 in April 2000. Anyway, I can mention also many names of still living and active logicians, but I'll refrain from that as I'm likely to omit some names. So I'm happy to report that despite all these challenging times, and partly due to them, logic is alive and doing quite well in the Nordic region, and our society is fairly active. We organize regular Scandinavian logic symposia and logic summer schools, and you are welcome to join us, hopefully in person, probably in August this year in Bergen in Norway. So enjoy the World Logic Day, and may we have countably many more happy Logic Days.
Thanks very much, Valentin. And now Guy Eisman will speak as the president of the International Academy for Philosophy of Science.
Hello, everyone. In the current time of crisis, the old antagonism between the conception of scientism and subjective relativism becomes particularly virulent again. It is the responsibility of logicians to counteract one underlying misunderstanding and to emphasize that to today the absolute evidence of logic and scientific rationality has given way to a plurality of logical techniques used in different contexts. This ceremony also should remind us that logic itself is based on human interaction, and it is rational. So many thanks for this invitation, and my congratulations to the organizers. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Gerard. Now, Shafak Wal, the president of the Turkish Logical Society. Please, Shafak. Are you ready?
Many thanks. First of all, many thanks for the organizing committee and especially Jean-Yves because of their effort. I bring my best wishes from Turkish Logical Society to audience. I am very happy to be in a Logic Day, and I want to hope, and one day will be a logical day in the world. I believe that we cannot do anything with logic, but without logic, we cannot do anything. My speech is enough. I think I want to share my letter for the Logic Days, if you give me an opportunity. Many thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Safak. You look very different. I'm me here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
so,
you.
Now we'll go to the next speaker, Katarzyna from Poland. Please, Katarzyna.
Hello from Poznan, Poland. A place where names are unpronounceable, but logic is crystal clear. Yeah. Let me say that Paul Valéry said that there are only two relations between people, logic and war, and that logic is a basic courtesy that we owe to each other. Moreover, Katz's law says men and nations will act rationally when all other possibilities have been exhausted. And as you all said, we seem to be very advanced in the exhaustion of other possibilities, so let us turn to logic and rationality. In Poland, we have a beautiful tradition according to which practical applications are at the center of attention of logicians, and logic is considered as a proper tool in concept analysis within ethics, education, and dialogue. That is why Kotarbiński said that Italians have bel canto and Poles have logic. So let us all celebrate together the third World Logic Day 2021. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Katarzyna. And now we have another logician who has some Polish origin, Ivan Warczynczak, please.
Okay, hello everyone. Thank you very much for the kind invitation to join this welcome celebration today. It is a great pleasure for me to be here and to have this privilege to share this virtual space with so many prominent logicians, many of whom have had a direct or an indirect influence on my work along my career in logic and in artificial intelligence. So as the current holder of the Universal Logic Prize, I just would like to say that I find it a great initiative, a great idea, which allows to draw a closer attention to work being done in different countries, which also shows that logic is such a diverse and inclusive discipline, right? And it's also a great initiative because it brings in a healthy form of competition, so to say, right? Which adds to the fun of the whole experience of doing work in logic. So in a sense, the Universal Logic Prize is a nice way to close the gap between logic and sports. And I was, of course, very happy to take part in the 2018 edition, and I'm already looking forward to the next one next year. So may logic continue to be developed and celebrated worldwide. And thanks to all of you who have worked very hard towards the recognition of our discipline as worth having a date to be universally celebrated. So happy World Logic Day to everyone.
Thanks, Ivan. The next speaker is César Mortari, the president of the Brazilian Society of Logic. Please, César.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, okay. So thanks, Jean-Yves, for the invitation to participate in this opening ceremony. On behalf of the Brazilian Logic Society, I would like to congratulate all the organizers of all these events, World Logic Day events that are happening now around the world. I would like also to thank Jean-Yves for coming up with this idea of this Logic Day and for UNESCO for supporting it. And well, this is it. I wish us all a very good Logic Day. And as Mr. Spock would say, live long and prosper. Thank you.
Thanks, César. Now we have Jesus from Mexico, from the Academy of Logic in Mexico. I think this is the only Academy of Logic in the world, so it's nice to have him here. I don't know. Please. I don't know if he's still here. If he's not here, let's go with the next representative, with Cela Dotovic from Serbia.
Hello, everyone. My name is
Hello.
I work at Mathematical Institute in Belgrade, and it's my great pleasure to talk here on behalf of the Serbian logical community. I want to say that here in Serbia, we have several groups doing research in a set theory, model theory, probability logic, and also a proof theory. We are open for all possible ways of collaboration, and for the end, I would like to wish you happy and successful new logic year. Thank you so much.
I see that Jesus is here and he's talking, but I think his microphone is not working. So I don't know, maybe I will send him a message. Okay, so in this case, we will go to the next presentation by Steve Folland, who is the chairman of the Lewis Carroll Society.
Hi there. Welcome to the Lewis Carroll, welcome to World Logic Day on behalf of the Lewis Carroll Society. As some of you already may know, Lewis Carroll had a deep interest in matters to do with logic, puzzles, and games. His Alice stories contain lots of puzzles and wordplay and challenge the reader, but he also wrote 2 books about logic, Symbolic Logic and The Game of Logic. And there's actually an online version of The Game of Logic at lewiscarrollresources.net for anyone who wants to try it out. In his diaries, he mentions lots of instances of when he taught the game of logic to students, and these weren't university students, although he was a university lecturer. These were pre-university children, and he must have been quite a good teacher to convince them to give this game of logic a chance. He felt that learning and using logic, and to give him a direct quote, gave you the ability to see your way through a puzzle, and the power to detect fallacies, and the power to tear to pieces the flimsy, illogical arguments which you will so continuously encounter in books, newspapers, in speeches, and even in sermons. So in a world that's become more connected, complex, and complicated than he could have even imagined, these tools are even more critical. I mean, I want to thank everyone who's participating in World Logic Day, and also, to use Carol's words, all the people who are involved in for taking the trouble to master this fascinating art. I'd just also like to add that the Lewis Carroll Society itself, we often give talks within the society, and sometimes these talks have people from the world of logic who explain either Carroll's logic or how his logic has been used elsewhere. So it's a very large part of the society, and it's always interesting to see how many other, if you like, Lewis Carroll readers or logicians have been influenced by Lewis Carroll, such as people like Alan Turing, the cybernetics person and cryptographer. There were lots of areas on logic, games, puzzles, you know, and there are big links. And even looking at the Alice books, it's the 150th year of Through the Looking Glass. And Through the Looking Glass is a book which is all about playing life as a great big chessboard. So in certain ways, Lewis Carroll was way ahead of his time. And also it's very coincidence, it's a very big coincidence that today is the anniversary of his death. He also died on the 14th of January.
Okay, thank you very much. We hope that next year we will have there will be a celebration during the World Logic Day about Lewis Carroll, because it's connected. The January 14 is connected with this day. So because Lewis Carroll was dead on January 14, like Kurt Gödel. Well, Jesus, can you speak now?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. Hello, good evening. My name is Jesus Jasso-Mendez, current president of the Mexican Academy of Logic in Mexico. In the first place, on behalf of the entire Mexican Academy of Logic, I would like to thank Dr. Jean-Yves Beziau for inviting us to participate in this celebration, and in general for making it possible to celebrate the World Logic Day on January 14 of each year. Thank you very much. We have seen that the celebrations are not only many and very interesting, but they also represent different regions of the world. Congratulations to everyone. And we will participate today in the event organized by Dr. Cristina Varese from the University of Sevilla, Spain. And we are co-organizers together with the Pontifical Catholic University of Peru of the event Logic and Plurality from 13 to 15 January. The organizers are Dr. Claudio Conforti from the Mexican Academy of Logic, Dr. Diogenes Rosales, and Dr. Miguel León Ontiveros from the Pontifical Catholic University of Peru, and I, of course, Jesus Jasso-Mendez from the Mexican Academy of Logic. You are all welcome to our events as well. The website of the Mexican Academy of Logic is amlogica.webnode.mx. We invite you to check this website at any free time you have. And once again, we thank Dr. Jean-Yves Beziau for all his generosity and his efforts to be here all together, celebrating our beloved Logic. Thank you very much, and greetings from Mexico.
Thanks very much, Jesus. And next, we'll hear Amirush from Estonia.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well and you're having a nice day so far. So yeah, I'm speaking from Estonia. We have here a small and but active community. I'm very happy to be a part of this team, and I'm really impressed and pleased because I see here really so many very prestigious logicians from all around the world. So it's really great that we managed to organize such an event, and I see that the scope of the event is already really wide, so we can say that it's already very successful. Like I said, in Estonia, we do mainly some research and teaching in logic, either directly in courses on logic, in philosophy, mathematics, computing, or also in disguise. I think we should not neglect this part in some courses such as academic writing or critical thinking, etc. I think these are really very important parts in our work to popularize logic. That's all I wanted to say. So let's celebrate logic today, and let's be logical the rest of the time. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Amirush. So next we will hear Jacek Malinowski, who is the editor-in-chief of Studia Logica, another journal published by Springer.
Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to see here. So great world representation of world logic. I'm very happy to see all of you here, and I would like to give you my best regards and best greetings of the World Day of Logic. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Jacek. Next, Ioannis Vandoulakis from Greece, which is a very important country for logic, as we know from the history of logic. Will you speak in Greek, Ioannis, or?
No, later. Thank you very much, Jean-Yves, for the invitation. Happy Logic Day to everybody. I think Jean-Yves' idea to invite me was not only that Greece is the birthplace of Aristotle, but that I am also from Crete. And Crete is the birthplace of Epimenides, who claimed that all Cretans lie. So you can, of course, apply this to me, but despite this statement, I can assure you that the next UNILOG Congress will be held in Crete, and it will be held in a place which is still COVID-free. The only problem is to find a way to reach this island of COVID-free place.
It's possible to go by swimming, no?
Yes, of course. Of course. So thank you very much and welcome. I'm waiting for you next year in Crete.
Thank you very much, Jean-Yves. And now we have Elena Lizaniuk from St. Petersburg, from Russia, which is a very important country for logic.
Oh, thank you, Jean-Yves. Dear colleagues, I'm currently a professor at the Department of Logic in St. Petersburg University and also in Moscow University of Higher School of Economics. It is really a great pleasure to see all of you here and to celebrate the third World Logic Day as a World Day, finally, not as a separate event, but now we all can see each other through this online possibility. And first, let me join to other colleagues in thanking Jean-Yves Beziau and all those who helped him make this not just possible, but actual for all of us, which is a big difference, as we logicians know. Today, logicians in Russia held several events already. To mention just few of them, in Moscow, Petersburg, Yekaterinburg, and many others. And there are two reasons why celebrating World Logic Day workshops is a remarkable opportunity for us in Russia. First, we can do it all the day long, for we have 8 time regions. So when our colleagues in Khabarovsk, in the far east of Russia, start their workshop in the morning, we in St. Petersburg can still prepare our tomorrow presentations the night before that. The other reason is that now it is the World Logic Day that starts the new year in Russia in some sense on the January 13th, so the day before, we informally farewell the all new year according to the Orthodox Julian calendar. So 2 reasons. And let me finish that short address by recalling to what Galileo said, that the nature talks to us in the language of mathematics, but we talk to each other in the language of logic because it's only logic that enable us to distinguish between what is true and what is not so. So let's do it. And many happy returns of doing that, discriminating between true and false. Thank you all for attention.
Thanks very much, Elena. And now we have Otávio Bueno, a Brazilian who is working in Florida since a couple of years.
Well, thanks everybody. And I also like to join my sincere appreciation for Jean-Yves and everyone involved in making this World Logic Day possible, and as Elena said, also actual. And I think one important message that we have here, and several of you have already touched on that, is the importance of thinking things through clearly and rationally. Of course, logic is a way of doing that, is a tool that allow us in an objective way of achieving some of that. But unfortunately, logic alone cannot do that, right? So we need to do beyond and go beyond just teaching the tools, but we need to also give resources so people can actually use them and think more critically about what the significance is of the information they acquire, how to assess it, how to implement it. Of course, I don't need to tell any of you that, you're already convinced, but it's something that, you know, so many of us teach logic, something that we should and share with our students, right? So they can also share with their friends and increase a little better the assessment of information that we surely need in these current times. Now, I also added the journal Synthese, and I was just checking this morning before here. We have actually published over 8,000 papers in logic or philosophy of logic or logic-related matters. So this is also another way in which we hope to sort of contribute to the sort of widespread of more sensible, reasonable, and logical information. And if each one of us does our part, hopefully we can have logic days that will celebrate not only everything that logic has done, but all that it can do and will be doing in the years to come. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Otávio. And now we listen to Andrés Bubenritz, who is representing the logician from Chile. Please, Andrés.
Hello, how are you? Greetings to all. I'm from the University of Valparaíso, Chile, and I want to congratulate the existence of these days, but I have a special motive for that, because this was promoted from Latin America, particularly from Brazil, and I think it's quite important thing because it's not the usual thing in academics and intellectual world that something coming out from Latin America will have such a world repercussion. So I have to thank Jean-Yves for that. Living in Brazil, he's from France and Switzerland, but he's living in Brazil and he's promoting that all over the world. Just to finish, I want to invite you all to present a paper when we can meet in the Jornada Rolando Chucky that happen in Chile every year, and we will meet when we are able. But Rolando Chucky was a great mathematician, a logician from Chile, so you are all invited. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Andrés. And next, we have Dennis, who is the president of the International Society for Symmetry.
Yes, please. Yes. Here, do you listen to me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you very much. So, first of all,
we don't see
special greeting to all of you. And I would like to say a few sentences also in Polish and German in the language of Tarski and Gödel. So cieszę się bardzo, że my spotkamy się. To jest cudowna idea. Ich freue mich sehr, dass treffen. Das war eine wunderbare Idee. So thank you very much. And I would like to tell you something very secret. Don't tell to anyone, just face to face. Our original name was not SIS, which has twofold rotational symmetry, but Isis, a beautiful goddess. But as you know, a terrorist organization also used our name without our permission, so therefore we dropped the first I, and now it is much more logical, SIS, which means International Society for the Interdisciplinary Study of Symmetry. And our roots are going back to ancient Greece, and we are organizing many, many events together with Yanis Vondoulakis and also Marcin Schröder. He will come a little bit later. And it is very important in this chaotic world to have much more unification, logically to understand the problem and to try to make a better world. And I would like to say that happy World Logic Day 2021, 22, 23, 24, and up to Aleph 0. Thank you. Dziękuję bardzo. Vielen Dank.
Thanks, Denis. And now Hachi Pitarin will speak. I don't know if he's listened to me because I don't see him on the screen. Well, if he's not here, let's listen now to Itala Taviano. Itala, are you listening to me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so please go ahead.
Just a moment. I'm from Brazil, from the University of Campinas. I would like to warmly welcome my colleagues and friends, logicians around the world, and to thank Jean-Yves Beziau and the Brazilian ambassador, Maria Edileuza Fontenele Reis, for their commitment with the creation of the World Logic Day. On this World Logic Day, during this so sad pandemic that sweeps us, I emphasize that we continue believing in knowledge and science, and especially in the most beautiful science, logic, the science of reasoning. That we continue fighting for better days for humanity. Let's go, logicians, and change the world. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Itala. Now we listen to Sreko Kovacs from President of the Croatian Logical Society. Please, Sreko.
Thank you very much. If you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Many thanks and congratulations to the initiators, organizers, and supporters of the World Logic Day. I am very glad to be a part of this great event, representing in a sense Croatia and the Croatian Logic Association. In Croatia, we celebrated this day with a central round table under the title, What is Logic? We became aware once again how logic is capable to unite scholars of different areas and to connect logic with the real world and life. Many congratulations and thank you very much once again.
Thanks very much, Sreko. So the next speaker will be Alexandra Soskova from Bulgarian Society, because from Bulgarian, from the Faculty of Mathematics of University of Bulgaria, because Roberto Giuntini told me from Italy, he had to go away, he had to go for attending his meeting he's organizing in Calgary. So please, Alexandra.
Dear colleagues, on behalf of the logicians, of Bulgarian logicians, it's my pleasure to extend warm wishes to all logicians in the world and to congratulate everybody with the celebration of the third World Logic Day, a day of celebration of the relevance of logic for all of us to develop, promote, and make better known logic in the world. We have a very long history also in logic. We organized several summer schools and conferences on the name of Gödel, Hating, and Klini. And the Logic Colloquium was in Sofia. There are main three groups now, logicians. One group is in mathematical department, Faculty of Mathematics and Informatics, the Department of Mathematical Logic and its application. The second group is in the Algebra and Logic group in the Bulgarian Academy of Science, and the third group is the Philosophical Logic, again, Bulgarian Academy of Science. We are very honored to be part of this celebration. Tomorrow will be our celebration, the whole day, and it's a joint seminar of mathematical logic, algebra logic seminar, and seminar of philosophical logic. So we are thankful to the organizers, and they will be, part of them will be our guests, especially to Professor Jean-Yves Beziau, the creator of the World Logic Day, and Her Excellence Maria Edileuza Fontenele Reis. She's now an ambassador of Brazil in Bulgaria and North Macedonia. So everybody is welcome also, and enjoy our World Logic Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alexandra. See you tomorrow. And now, Marcin Schroeder, originally from Poland, but he's working in Japan since many years, and the president of the International Society for the Study of Information.
Jean-Yves, first I would like to thank you very much for the initiative of the World Logic Day, and I would like to thank everyone who was involved in implementation of this. I think this is a very, very important initiative. For me, the most important is my hope that this World Logic Day will help to revive logical education. Logical education was a core of liberal arts education for hundreds of years. And until recently, it was core basically of education everywhere. Unfortunately now, Professor Wolenski was talking about this, logical education was neglected. And I think we can observe that this very, very scary situation which we now have in the world is in part as a result of this negligence. And what is the source of this? We can see that Descartes in Discourse on the Method was saying that even at this a long time ago, everybody is satisfied with good sense. Good sense is like a capacity for sound reasoning. And I'm afraid that this is something universal, that people neglect learning of logic, learning of what is sound reasoning. And this is why I think World Logic Day will help to overcome this, and it will, I hope it will help to stabilize situation in the world. So once again, congratulations, and thank you very much to everyone who made this World Logic Day possible. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Martin. And now we listen to Professor Fahzi AlCareem from Saudi Arabia. I must recall that we had already a celebration of the first World Logic Day for the first edition in Mecca in Saudi Arabia. So I'm glad that there is a representative from this country here today. I don't know if, are you still here? Maybe not anymore. So let's see. Let's.
Can you hear me now?
Ah, yeah, sure. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
First of all, thank you, Jean-Yves, for inviting Saudi Arabia to this very important event. My name is Fahzi AlCareem. I'm a faculty member at the Math Department, King Saud University in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia. I'm very happy to be among such great logicians from different countries of the world. This is a very important event, and also it emphasizes from what I heard, this is an emphasis of the general scope of logic and the wide spectrum from philosophy to mathematical logic to computer science. So I'm very happy to be here, and I hope there will be a start of many events and activities in Saudi Arabia. And I thank Her Excellency, the ambassador from Brazil, who initiated this in the UNESCO and fixed it as a World Day. So happy Logic Day. And I hope 2021 will be much more consistent than 2020 and much more logical than 2020 in the positive sense. So thank you very much.
Thanks. And next, we'll listen to Gianfranco Basti from the Pontifical Lateran University of the Vatican. Please, Gianfranco.
Okay, so good afternoon. Thank you for the invitation. I am very glad to greet all of you. And as you see, my short biographic note, I am the director of the IRAFS. This is you can see here, so sorry. This is the International Research Area on the Foundational Science, and I was founded in 1993 97 by two big logician and professor of mathematics and logic of the 20th century, that is Ennio De Giorgi and Edward Nelson, and with me, and we organize a lot of work about using logic as an instrument of dialogue between science, philosophy, and theology. And I stress the relevance of teaching logic also in our university, because the problem of religion today is double, strictly related. That is, on the one side, is the problem is to involve a gifted person, that is, people who are very gifted in rational thinking, scientists before all. And on the other side, it is necessary that we overcome in the religion the temptation of fundamentalism, of fideism, and so on. And logic is the only medicine against this. And the good news is that students are very happy with this. I fight a lot for recovering the teaching of logic in our pontifical universities. And now in my university, I think it is one of the few universities in the world in which in the Department of Philosophy, we teach 3 courses of logic, that is classical mathematics, predicated propositional logic, in syllogism included. The second year is a model intentional logic, that is the philosophical logic. And the third year, category theory, because category theory is a powerful means for helping, for developing formal philosophy and for helping the dialogue among different realms of science and philosophy, because you can find a lot of similarities among them. And so I want to stop here and my congratulations for Jean-Yves and Ambassador Fontenele for the recognition of the World Logic Day and the teaching of logic from the UNESCO. To teach logic is today very, very important overall for an intercultural, interdisciplinary dialogue that only if by formalization of the different types of knowing is possible. So thank you so much, and I greet all of you.
Thanks, Gianfranco. I hope to see you in the next UNILOG in Crete. And next, I will listen to Joachim Rögers, who is representing the logician from Moldavia. Please, Joachim.
Hello.
No.
I am from the tri-state area, Ukraine, Moldova, and Romania, and Professor Nikitchenko already presented us. I will only add Happy World Logic Day.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we listen to Mir Chakraborty, who is from Calcutta, the Calcutta Circle, Logical Circle in India. Please, Mir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jean-Yves, for the invitation. It's a long session. I want to present a poem, a piece of poem. So this is, I want to actually welcome you all on this Logic Day with a poetry which is composed on the concept of Chatushkoti of the great Buddhist master Nagarjuna. So the idea was this, actually Nagarjuna's time, you know, is ancient time. And so the idea is this: given an object and a property, the property, if we want to say that whether the property is applicable to the object or not, then he used to say that there are 4 possibilities: yes, no, neither yes nor no, and both yes and no. So this may remind us of the tetralemma of the 4-cornered lattice developed by Belknap nowadays. Anyway, my point is this, that I have composed one poem in my own language, Bengali, but I am making a translation of this. It is a small poem, don't get worried. So it is based on that 4 corners. The square, Chatushkoti, that I had been talking of, comes down from the skies at my window in the dead of night. Of it, 3 corners are acceptance, rejection, neither acceptance nor rejection. The 4th one is explosive or fathomless. Acceptance and rejection both. At this mystical corner, I keep my eyeballs fixed and sit in meditation for the whole night. Hope, if there be any, lies here. It dawns. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mir. And now we will have the last speaker for today, with Dwinlin from Taiwan, which is now very late in Taiwan, but is kindly still here to speak.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dwinlin from National Wongshan University, Taiwan. It's really great to see all of you fine on this 3rd World Logic Day meeting. And it is also great to see many logic events taking place everywhere. And about 14 months ago, Jean-Yves visited Taiwan and for a conference, and later on the 2nd World Logic Day, we have a Taiwan meeting, and with Jean-Yves greeting us online. And this year in Taiwan, we have an online meeting for World Logic Day. And recently in Taiwan, the society named Taiwan LMPST, which is connected to the DLMPST, is just reformed. So for the next World Logic Day, we wish to have cooperation with them for celebration. And finally, hope that we will see each other soon, face to face, in forthcoming Logic conferences. Thank you.
Thank you very much, William. So everybody now was able to speak. I'm very glad. So we conclude the session. So what to say? I think we had a very nice first edition of the World Logic Day. Then, to summarize the situation, then we succeeded to make this Logic Day recognized by UNESCO, thanks to the ambassador of Brazil, who is kindly present here. And then we organized a 2nd edition, and then we have a 3rd edition now, which is, as Benedikt was explaining, which is directly organized by UNESCO with the Conference de Philosophie and Sciences Humaines, which is very nice. So I see that from all this point of view, this Logic Day is a big success, and we hope that we can hope certainly that in the next future, the World Logic Day will go on in a successful way. So thanks to everybody. Happy Logic Day. Here in Rio de Janeiro, it's nearly 2 p.m. in the afternoon. We have several events going on, and in the same way and in other part of the world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jean-Yves. Thank you, Jean-Yves.
Special thanks to Antje, because Antje made a fine background work. Antje.
Yeah, of course. We have to thank the Antje, which was organizing this Zoom meeting, and the support of all the team of Springer, with whom I am working since many years, with the journal Logica Universalis and the books series Studies of Universal Logic. And I took the opportunities to say that we are working as launching a regular web seminar on logic with Springer that will take place on a regular basis. I mean, like 1 or 2 sessions each month, with a lecture on logic. So we'll start this very soon. We will have this regular webinar on logic, with which be managed by the Springer. You want to say something, Anj?
Only glad that I could help, and thanks for joining.
See, 1 year later without Corona.
Yeah, okay.
Now,
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.